now I take us to the emotion of how does it feel to be connected to someone and for them to say, I'm done with you. Marty, you and I have talked about at least a couple people in your life who have, in my humble opinion, of their own acknowledgement, completed their missions. How much resistance to that idea remains in you in present day?
Wow, that's so interesting because I feel like hmm, there's some guilt coming up, so I'm trying to silence it and get the truth
Well,
behind that.
I would really love for whatever is coming through.
Yeah,
I would really love for you to trust that there's a place for it.
yeah. I'm gonna say I feel like I have still more fear than I should because we have talked about it so much and I have read about it
Like
and all.
statistically, I should not
Statistics,
feel
yeah.
the way I feel about it.
Right. Like logically, we've worked through this and it's been so, maybe even like a decade that we've been talking about how death doesn't exist, and
Mhm.
many parts of me still don't fully believe it. So I can only imagine maybe for some people that don't don't ever say these things out loud, how much it may reproduce, on its own, this fear. Or for some people like even terror. And and yeah, I think that one of the phrases that has healed me the most is thinking that, or has returned me um, to miracle mindset, is that when someone dies, it's because the mission they have to serve as an angel or as a non-physical being is bigger or more important than the mission they have to serve as a physical being. So that's the thought that has brought me most peace, and at the same time, because I analyze, I I think, but wait, isn't our purpose always bigger as non-physical because we can reach infinite? And so then that means that maybe my phrase isn't true. And so I get into these kind of logical debates. Um, and and those logical debates just end on me saying, well, I'm just gonna close the book now because now another question came up that's gonna be very hard to research and I'm not gonna finish it this night. So what happens in my brain is I just click that pause and then don't return to it for months because it's uncomfortable. I don't want to find out something that then derails that more peaceful thought I had because that's what I want to keep. I want to keep that one that I know is makes me feel 70% at peace. And then I'm scared that if I keep researching, I'll find something and then it only, make me feel 50%. So I'm just afraid of learning more and then backing up in the process. So then I'll say, okay, I guess 70% will have to do now.
So, what would happen if you shifted the perspective of thinking that the non-physical responsibility of that being is seemingly taking priority over their presence here in the physical? What would happen if you shifted that way of thinking and said, it's not that it takes priority, it's that of their own inner beingness, they deemed that their mission here was complete. It's not necessarily that they're being pulled to a more important mission that is going to contribute, you know, in a greater magnitude
Hmm.
to all that is. It's that literally they're done.
Mm,
They were done.
yeah.
And so now I take us to the emotion of how does it feel to be connected to someone and for them to say, I'm done with you. they're not saying you're not good enough for me to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying this assignment
Mm-hmm.
that appears in this vibratory way
Mm-hmm.
is complete.
Yeah.
And so if we were able to look at those who have passed, those who have made their transition to non-physical, those who are still with us, but they're in that 99.999% of beingness that we do not have receptors for, physical anatomical receptors for, and we won't feel them and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're still with us until we let go of the fear that they're not with us.
Yeah.
So again, what it's calling for, what this is calling for, is a couple of things all at once. Acknowledging the energetic essence of who you are, of what you are. Acknowledging that everyone else is exactly the same in that energetic essence. We're all fields of energy. And you can't separate us because there's this entanglement. You know, you can pull out in a way. You can, in Romanian, the term to retire, a se retrage, has several uses. One is to retire, like he retired from his career. The second one is to retreat, meaning to pull back, to move back. Where would we retreat? If we were talking about a battlefield, we would retreat back to home base, to where it's safe. You following me?
Yeah.
Okay. Another term for retreat, another definition of retreat, is to go away so that you can rest and recharge. You were going to go on a retreat. You love going on retreats. Yeah? And so here is this term, to retire.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. That's what we're doing. We're going home. We're letting go of the idea that we have to have a profession and a function and a purpose, and that we have to be involved all the time in action, which, if you want the Sanskrit word for action, it would be karma. It's us saying, I don't want to play this game anymore. I might play it 2 minutes later by focusing myself in another realm, but right now, I have made the decision willingly and joyously on the uppermost level, because certainly we have heard of human beings departing in not a joyful way, in a very abrupt, unexpected way. And we have to look past the appearances that our senses showed us. We have to look past those. And we have to remember that freedom that is within us as energetic fields, to put our attention somewhere else. And so then the ones who remain have the responsibility to themselves to not take it personally, to not be afraid that what they held so dear has disappeared, right? Poof. And then again, to further go down that dark downward spiral of fear of going, how could something that was so alive and vibrant and valuable, how could it just disappear? So there has to be a willingness to remember the freedom within each seemingly separate part of all that is, and to not take offense that they left us, or that they were taken from us. We have recently some Dick Van Dyke. Mari, do you know who Dick Van Dyke is? Dick Van Dyke recently turned 100 years old. And I saw a wonderful reel where he was being interviewed of what's it like to have turned 100 years old. And he said, it's good. I have no pain. You know, what do I think the driving force of this longevity has been? And he brought two terms, two words into the conversation that he has never really either felt comfortable experiencing, and has never allowed to penetrate his being: hate and anger. Hate and anger. He mentioned his father, who passed on at 74. And he said his father was always consumed with the state of affairs, with what was going on outside. He was angry. He was hateful. So, you know, you can stay as long as you want. You can stay as long as you want, and you can be robust, and you can be vital and vibrant, and you can be coherent. You can be present, and you can continue to be functional and purposeful and intentional. And you can leave whenever you want. And I hope that we begin to acknowledge the power within us to both have a mission and to complete it quickly. Because there are those who intend to come in and depart before they actually officially are deemed viable human beings. You know, they peace out 9 months in utero. You know, they come in lifeless. Mourning, to mourn, is to deny the truth of your essential essence. Your essential nature is invulnerable, indestructible, and forever lasting. There is nothing to mourn. If you can go to that place and grant all those who have left before you, who have gone home, maybe who ran off the playground before you were ready for them to not play with you anymore. If you would go ahead and give them their power back, at the same time you're reclaiming your own. If you allow them that freedom to remember who and what they were, and to say, I'm done making believe and playing pretend, you would feel joy, relief when someone passed on. So I would like to leave us with that to think about and to sit with. And I know that it's not going to be easy to hear that a friend's father passed on and to go, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, because you can now feel him in his most joyous state. Anytime you think of him, you can call him into your experience, and you can quietly speak to him and ask him if he's okay, and feel this warmth and this peace wash over you. You can do that. Yes, I get that you can't say that to just anyone right now. And you can't say to them, I'm so happy for them because they woke up and they remembered their eternalness and their infiniteness. But I hope that sooner rather than later, you can, and that you want to. There has to be a willingness in you to see things differently. And when you can do that, Mari, you will have peace at 100% intensity, 100% of the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to share the message you sent me that you like to send when someone departs, to bring some of your essence but still hold it in the field of what most people would accept as a nice note.
Okay.
And this was, hello, soul brother. I know that X is going to pass this message on, and I feel guided to give it to you also. I am holding space for you in my heart and mind to navigate this period of your loved one's passing with grace and poise and faith of her eternal life beyond the appearances of this time and space and earthly realm. Please let me know when you are guided to reconnect and have a coffee.
And that's it. I can't say I'm sorry. I do not send condolences anymore. I say that, and I tweak it. And I've sent messages like that this year, 2025, probably a dozen times.
Wow.
And inside, I breathe a sigh of relief for the ones who have passed. And I acknowledge that they're not dead, that they're not non-existent. And I sometimes may pass along a message. I'm not going to say that someone is that I can feel or have a clairaudient type of ability. I can't. Unlike the movie The Sixth Sense, I can't see dead people. I can't. But I know there is no death, and I know what they would want to tell you if you were worried about them and if you were sad at their disappearance from this world.
Yeah. And then I want to end on with a phrase that you sent me, and you can tell us what deck it is later on. And it says, every death is brought by the culmination of the vibration of the being. There is not an exception to that. No one, beast or human, makes their transition into the non-physical without it being the vibrational consensus that is within them. So every death is a suicide because every death is self-imposed.
Yeah. And I would, again, the word death, I don't use it. I say dematerialization, departure from this realm. I say defocusing literally meaning taking focus away from here, and none of my business where they're putting it. But it is you as a conscious projector, shifting your focus, retracting the in-streaming of energy from here, somewhere else. Where else? Everywhere else. Where we, who are still playing the game, who are still consciously focused in this dimension, in this realm, away from where we are. Why are you doing it? I don't know. Because your mission's over. But death to me is not, I can't. I refuse to use it as a term anymore.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.